Hello friends, I Dr. Aswin Dobaria welcome you to Programming in C theory video series. In this video we will discuss very important concepts, that is algorithms. As you know that to write the C programs, algorithm is helpful to develop the actual logic of the program. So that's why before writing the actual C program, we will write the algorithm of these programs. Actually, algorithm is mainly helpful to design the logic of the programs. Now in this video we will discuss all these topics: introductions of logic building, then introductions of algorithm, keywords of algorithms, then features of algorithms like sequence, decision statements and looping. So before we move to the actual algorithm topic, let's see one example. When we require to write a programs, or when we require to write the algorithms and the other programs. So generally what happen, whenever we want to give any solutions, then we have a two options generally. To write a C program means with the help of C program we want to give a solutions, like if anyone wants to calculate the sum of two numbers. So our problem is to calculate the sum of two numbers. So how we can give a solution to that person, right? Similarly in our real life, let me take one example of a real life. If one person he doesn't know how to use the ATM, so how to use the ATM, that is the problem of that person. Now as a developer, how will you give a solution? How will you explain that person that how to use the ATM? So you have a two options. It means you can give a solution in two different way. One is you can write the steps how to use the ATM. So in step you can mention that, okay, step 1, insert ATM card in appropriate place, then enter your PIN number. Third step, select a withdrawal options. Fourth, you collect your money and remove your ATM card. It means you are giving a solution how to use the ATM to that person in form of textual instruction. So that is one way to give a solutions. Another way, suppose you can draw a design of ATM in a page, then you explain that, yeah, this is the ATM, here you have to insert a card. Once you insert a card, then ATM will ask the PIN number. That PIN number you have to enter from here, and once you enter, then after you have to select the withdrawal options, and finally you collect the money, and this is the steps. So this is again the same solution of the problem, but this solution in form of graphical. So this is the real life example. But if we talk about in terms of programming language, so whenever we give a solution of any program in a textual form, that is known as the algorithm. And when we give a solution of any problem in a graphical form, that is known as a flowchart. So in this video we will discuss only how to write algorithms, but in upcoming video I will explain all the standard symbols, how to draw the flowcharts to represent the solution of any programs of C. So let's start the how we can write the algorithms. Now when we write an algorithm, it means to give a solution of any programs, then first we have to give a input to a programs. So suppose we want to write such a program in which we want to calculate the sum of two numbers. So first we have to give two numbers to our programs with the help of keyboard. So what we will do, we will input two numbers, and to input two numbers we will guess a two variables. So here x and y, that is known as a variable. What is the concept of variable, which are the different rules that we will see in upcoming videos. Right now just we will guess certain variable. So x is equal to 10, y is equal to 5. So these two value we will provide to our program. Then our program is having the logic of our solution. So this is the logic, because my problem is to calculate the sum. So x plus y, and whatever result will be generated, that is stored to z, and that z I will display on screen. So z is equal to 15, that is my output. So actually this is the basic funda to write any C programs or to write any algorithm. So whenever you think about the solution of any C programs or any algorithm, first you think about how many values I have to provide to my programs, Once I provide a input, then what I have to do, what is my actual logic. So this is the actual logic of this program, and once any logic is executed, or you can say it will be evaluated, then it will generate one result. So that is our output. If we give the definition of the algorithm, then basically we can describe the solution of any problem using two different ways. As I told you that solutions we can represent using step by step in a written format or in a textual format, that is known as a algorithm. And when we represent the problem solution using graphical format, then that is known as a flowchart. So this is very simple definitions of algorithm and flowcharts. And if in this video actually we have to discuss about the algorithm. So algorithm can be elaborated in a different way. Algorithm is a step-by-step explanation of the problem solution in a textual format. And algorithm is also considered as a tool in a programming. With the help of that we can develop a logic. So for representing a problem solution with step by step using specific order. So instruction should be in a specific order. Like in this example, in our ATM example, if we move again, then these instructions should be in order. We cannot directly say, okay, you insert ATM card and directly you collect money, then you select withdrawal, then you remove ATM, then you enter PIN number. No. Instruction must be in a specific order, step by step. We cannot mention in the random fashion. So that you take care about this while you write the algorithm. Now very important thing is, if you want to write algorithm, then which are the keywords are generally used to write the algorithm. Then first common keywords is every algorithm start with begin keyword, or you can start with start keywords. And every algorithm complete with the keywords and, or you can use stop. So in our example we will use starting of the algorithm with start keywords and ending with the stop keywords. After that, sometimes we require to take the value from user, or we want to input certain value. So for input the keyword is generally use input, and for giving a or display output we generally use the output or a print. So input and output both are generally used, and instead of input and output you can use read keyword for input value and write keyword for display value. And to declare a variable, because in C programming whenever you use any variable it must be declared. So at the beginning of the algorithm we have to declare all the variable using declare keywords, or you can use initialize keyword to declare any variables with the values. And to write the actual logic you can use the calculate, like in our case calculate z is equal to x plus y. And for another type where the logic is having the conditions or a loop, then we can use the if and loop keyword. So these are the common keywords are used in a algorithm. Now let's see certain example step by step. We can write the algorithm in a three different way, or that is the features of algorithm. One is we can write the algorithm sequence type of algorithm, where we have to mention each and every instructions in a sequence, or you can say in a step by step. Another type of algorithm which is having a decision statement. Decision statement means what? Sometimes the execution flow is in a sequence, but at some level we want to check certain condition, and based on conditions we can change the execution flow. Suppose if first number is greater than second, then we want to execute first operation, otherwise second operation. So in that case we can use the decision statement in our algorithm. And third type of algorithm we can write a looping. Now we'll discuss in depth what is the concept of looping and if condition, but here just we have to see the in terms of algorithms only. So looping means sometimes the block of statement we want to execute repeatedly up to number of times, so that things we can mention in a looping. So in this video we will see all three types of algorithms, how to write it. Now you should also remember certain common rules before writing the algorithm. So first is algorithm should be in a specific order, means all the instruction, all the statement must, it means the all statement of the algorithm must be in a specific sequence. Another is algorithm always start with the a begin keyword or a start keywords, and it should be complete with the stop keyword or a end keyword. In our most of the example we will use start keywords and stop keywords. Then next is specify a step numbers to each and every statement. So whenever we write a instruction in algorithm, each and every instructions should have a step number, step 1, step 2, step 3 up to required. Then define a variable at the beginning and initialize with the default value. Now what is the concept of variables? So I'll explain with one very practical example. For that I have to open a notepad, and friends, let's we remember our school days, like in a primary, in a mathematics subjects we generally solve this kind of problems. Like in mathematics we generally learn this kind of questions, like a salesman is selling 50 mangoes of 10 rupees each, then what is the total amount of selling? This is the questions in a mathematics. Then generally in mathematics this is our problems. Now in mathematics how we are solving this? So to solve this mathematical problem, right, one salesman is selling 50 mango of 10 rupees each, means one mango price is 10 and he is selling total 50. Then what is the total amount of the selling? So how we can solve with the help of mathematics? So in mathematics generally we say that suppose, right, first we are guessing certain character means it's a variable, so we are guessing like that. Suppose a total mango is x, so total mango is x. So here the value of x is equal to 50, and price of each mango is, for example, y. So in our case price of each mango is 10, so we can mention 10. Now here we want to calculate the amount. So how we can calculate the total amount? So for that again we will guess another variables or a character. So this character is known as a x, y, z. These guessing characters are known as a variable, and after that this is the actual logic of our sum, you can say, actual logic of our problems, right? So how we can calculate total amount? So z is equal to x multiplied by y. Then we will place the value, instead of x it is a 50 multiplied by y means 10, then the value of z is equal to 500. So in that way, and generally this is our answer in case of mathematics. Now see friend, suppose as a student I can guess the character like total mango, for example A, price of each mango is B, then the total amount is C, right? So now my logic is changed, C is equal to A multiplied by B. Then what does it mean, friends? So here instead of x, y, z I have declare A, B, C. So A, B, C are the variable. Similarly, if someone wants to declare guess this character like P, Q, R. So here similarly in programming also, first you have to identify how many values you want to input in your program. So here see we have to give two values like total mango and the price of each mango, so A and B. So here the value of A is 50, B is 10. Then what is the logic? C is equal to A multiply B, and this is the output. So this is, in that way you think about any problem solution, and according to our problem we have to guess number of variables. So I hope friends now all of you understood what is the concept of variable. You can take any name over here, but it should be a proper name. We will discuss the rules how we can declare a variable name, that we'll discuss in upcoming video. So here now let's start how we can write the very basic algorithms, and that is the first type of algorithm. It's a sequence. Why it is known as a sequence? So in sequence type of algorithm, the problem solution statements are written in a specific sequence. Suppose an algorithm is written in a specific sequence and also executed in the specific order. For example, we want to write an algorithm which will calculate the sum of two numbers. How we can write the algorithm to calculate the sum of two numbers? Now see friends, if we think about the logic of these programs, then first how we can write the algorithm. So every statement, these are the statement of algorithm, and every statement is having a step number. So step number 1, start is the default keyword that we have to write. Now based on, according to the, or you can say according to the definition of the program, we have to identify the total number of variable. So here we want to calculate sum of two numbers. So it means we have to provide two numbers to our program. Let's we guess that first number is x and second number is y. So here in the second step, first we have to declare or initialize all the variable required in our algorithm. So first number is x and we will initialize 0. Second number is y, initialize with 0. Here you can use this left arrow also, or you can use the equal to symbol also. Now these x and y, we will give a number to user, number to programs. Now based on x and y, it will calculate the sum. So for store this sum value, here I have declared the z. So second step, we have to declare all the required variable and initialize with the initial values. Then here you can declare initialize z also as a 0. Now third steps, first our program will ask the user. So it gives a message, enter value of first number, right? Because we are writing all the steps of C programs, but this is not in syntax of C. This is our you can say the natural language statements, right? And that's why it is known as algorithm. Now these natural language statement will convert in form of C program syntax, and the same algorithm will be converted into C programs. So this is only for how we can develop the logic to solve this problem. So print and double quote, whatever you write down in double quotation, it will give as a message on the screen. So enter value of first number. By reading this statement, user will input any number, for example 5. So that 5 will be input in the variable x. So the next statement is input x, because we are providing a value to our program. It means we are giving a input. That's why here I have used the keyword input, and that value will be input into x. Here this message we want to display. So to display any message, we have to use print or output keywords. Now similarly, we can take the input of another value, because to calculate the sum we have to input two numbers. So first number will be input in a x, second number again will give a message, enter value of second number, and suppose user input 3, so that 3 will be input y, because we want to store that 3 into y. So here y will be displayed with input. So step number 6. Now in up to 6 steps, we have input two value, first value in x, second value in y. It means we have a two value. Now what is the actual logic of this algorithm or a program? So we want to calculate sum. Then logic of the sum is x plus y, and whatever output will be generated, it will store into z. So here you can write down calculate keywords also, because this is the calculation statement. And once z is having a value that we want to display as output, so you can use output keywords, or you can use print keyword over here to display any results on the screen. And once the entire algorithm over, then the last steps is a stop. So this is very basic algorithms of sequence type. Sequence type means each and every statement is executed one by one and generate the output. Now the another type of algorithms, before we move to this another type of algorithm, for example, if we want to write the algorithm which can calculate square of a number, for example, if we want to write the algorithm for that, then first step number 1, we can say start. Then step number 2. Now first we have to think about that how many variables we require. So here we have to input one number, and once we input one number, then it will give a square. So for here we can write initialize one number that we want to store, right? So that number is initialized 0, then suppose whatever square value is generated, that we will store into s is equal to 0. So we require two variables. Then we can write step number 3, and first we will give a message to the user, enter any number, and once user read this, then he will input any value, and that value we want to store, we want to input in which variable? So input into x, and now we have a value in x. Then our actual logic will write in a step number 5. What is the actual value? We want to calculate the square of x. Then what is the logic? We have to multiply x 2 times, and here we can add the keyword calculate also, right? So that is again calculate s, and now the last steps is step number 6, and now our result is available in variable s, so we can print s, or you can write down output s also, and the last step you can say it's a stop. So in that way, friends, you can write the algorithms of sequence type. Now the another type of algorithm where you require certain conditions, and condition means condition is having only two options, either condition becomes true or condition become false. So we will discuss in detail the various type of conditions and the algorithm also, but here in this video I am just explaining only one example how we can write the algorithm for condition. So whenever we have a multiple options for a selections and required to select only single one, then we have to use the condition. Now here the example is input any number, and we have to check whether that number is odd or even. So see, our input is only 1. If we input one value, then we have to check whether that is odd or even. It means we have a two path. If the condition becomes true, then we have to display another message, and otherwise we have to display the another message. So how we can write this algorithm? So step number 1, start. Now in these programs we require only one variable, right? So here initialize declare x variable, that value we will input to our programs. Step number 3, print input any value, enter any numbers you can say, and whatever number, suppose if I input 5, then 5 will be input into x. Now how we can check whether 5 is odd or even? So now this is the actual logic, and here we have two options. At a time, either we want to display number is even message, or we want to display number is odd. We cannot display the both the message in the same time. So how we can write this? If the input value x and modulus 2, so modulus gives a remainder, and remainder if it is 0, it means whatever value we input, suppose 5, then 5 divided by 2, then remainder is 1. If remainder is 1, then this condition becomes false, and if condition become false, then control directly jump to the else part and give the message number is odd. But suppose if I input 10, then value of x is 10, 10 modulus 2 means 10 divided by 2, then remainder is 0, then condition become true. So in condition, generally in algorithm we have to use if keywords, then condition, then keywords, then if condition becomes true, then it will execute the next statement, and if this condition become false, then control directly jump to the else part and it will execute the else part. So in that way, at a time these conditions will be executed only one part, either true part or false part. And here step number 5 is the execution is the conditions, and you can also give a step 6 for else also, and you can give. So step number, how to give a step number, it is up to you. It's not a specific rules for that, but at least you mention the step number. So this is the algorithms of condition. We will discuss more example in a upcoming practical video, but just for understanding, now in C language, whenever you write the comparison, specifically equality, then instead of single equal to, we have to mention double equal to. That we will see in the theory concepts. So this is the second type of algorithm. Third, again this is another example of if condition. Now see, this is the algorithm where we want to display the maximum value out of 3 value. So first steps is a start, then declare a variable a comma b comma c. You can initialize 0 0 value also. Now suppose first value is 5, second is 10, third value is 7. So out of all these three we want to display the maximum value, right, largest value. So second step, we have declare all variable. Here instead of ABC you can take PQR, XYZ, whatever you want. Then you, step 3, you give a message, print input value of a comma b comma c. Then step number 4, you can write input or you can write read, because algorithm is nothing but it is the statement of very close to the human language, like it's an English statement only. It's not a programming statement. So read variable a comma b comma c. It means you input three numbers. First number in A, second number in B, and third number in C. After that, the first condition will compare first two variables. If A greater than B, if A greater than B, then if this condition becomes true, it means A is greater B. Then under this condition, we will check another condition. A is greater than C. If this condition becomes true, it means A is greater than B also and A greater than C also. Then display the message, or you can write down output A is greater, right? A is the largest number. Else, suppose here A is greater than B, and inside that here A is not greater than C, for example, it means C is greater. So if this condition become false, then control directly jump over here else, and it gives the message C is greater. Then suppose if these conditions become false, it means B is greater, and if B is greater, then the control directly jump to the else part. Then it will check B is greater than C. If B is greater than C, it means B is largest, otherwise C is largest. And we'll discuss the same algorithms in a C programming also in a practical videos. Right now, just for your understanding, I have mentioned this algorithm. Now the third type of algorithm we can write, that looping. Looping is a very depth concept, so it's not possible to explain everything about the loop in this algorithm. So here just I am trying to explain what is the loop. Loop means sometime if you want to execute certain block of statement up to number of times, then how we can write it. So loop, here suppose we want to display square of first 10 number, square of first 10 number, 1 2 3 4 5, it's a number, but we want to display square. Then how many variables? So first steps is a start, how many variable is required. So in looping generally we have to declare one counter variable which can count the repetitions of loop, 1 2 3 4 5, like this. So n is the here you can say it's a counter. S, which will store the square of the number. Now we can also give a user choice, can enter any number up to how many values you want to display the square, like 50, 10, 20, and this is a x. So input value is x. Suppose if I want to display the square of first to 10, then I will input 10 in a x. So now how we can write the loop? There are three type of loop: while, do while, and for loop, that we'll discuss in upcoming video. But here how we can write the algorithm of while. So while is a keyword, then n initialize 1 means whenever we count, then we always start the counting from 1. So here n is initialized 1, then n is less than or equal to x means how many time you want to execute. Suppose 10, so here it's a 10. So n is 1, 1 less than 10, condition becomes true, then it begin the loop. Then n value is 1, so 1 multiplied by 1, it store 1 s into the s, then it display the s. Now once one time loop is execute, then we have to increment the counter. So n plus 1, again it store into n. So now n become 2, 2 less than 10, yes, again condition becomes true. Then 2 multiplied by 2, 4, then it display 4, again 2 plus 1 means 3, so it display 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When n become 11, then this condition become false. When condition become false, then the control directly transfer to the end and stop. So friends, I hope in this video we have seen the concept of algorithms, and in this video description part I have also mentioned the other theories and practical video link for your reference. and you also give your suggestion, and also share this video link to your friends. Like this video, share with your friends, and for getting the updates of upcoming video, kindly